Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to the Mana Cave. My name is Ed.
And I'm Travis.
And we're doing something I'm super excited about doing again. We're doing 1v1 Commander.
It was sarcasm.
I was not I wasn't taken with the format like the first time we tried it.
Fair enough.
Because I got my ass handed to me. That was part of it.
Format or not, I'm excited about the decks.
Yes,
I like the decks.
Once again, we are not going by the steadfast rules that you for online 1v1 Commander, like Soul Ring is still in the decks and stuff like that. The only thing that we're sort of keeping with is the 30 life total, right?
Yeah. Because you don't want to spend like 3 hours recording this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll make the difference.
The other thing as well too is we both took a little bit more time, not like a ton of time, to sort of tweak these decks, because these are the straight out of the box
Yes.
Commander 2017 decks. This is the dragon deck versus the cat deck.
Yes. Interesting matchup. Dragons and cats.
Yeah, and we've taken a little bit of time to tweak them just a bit to get rid of some of the cards that are more useful when you're playing in a multiplayer setting.
I think 7 cards from this deck have been tweaked.
Yeah.
Just 7.
And because I'm playing the dragon deck, which is all 5 colors, I mostly just tweaked the mana base.
And that was the number one. I watched a lot of the podcasts, and a lot of people talk about it. Everyone said yes, mana. The mana base, not the mana cave. The mana base needed work. Otherwise, solid deck. And I've seen, this is my friend Jay's deck, I've seen this deck in action. It didn't scare me enough before then. It does now. Because I never actually, none of us had really played Voltron style deck before.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's no big deal. I know what's going on here. And then I died out of nowhere.
Yeah,
So,
and then once the equipment starts piling up and some of the cards that allow you to equip things for free and stuff, it gets really scary really quickly. And then you got a cat that can give stuff trample, I believe, as well too, right?
Plus X and trample.
Yeah. So, speaking of which, why don't you read off your commander?
I'm not going to because I don't want to pronounce his name. Arahbo, Roar of the World. He's a legendary creature, cat avatar. He casts for 1 green, 1 white, and 3 of anything. The big thing about him, other than being a 5/5, is his eminence. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if he's in the command zone on the battlefield, another target cat, which is important, gets +3/+3 until the end of the turn. He also has whenever cat I control attacks, I may pay a white, a green, and any color. If I do, that creature gains trample, and it gets +X/+X, where X is its power. A lot to read.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I was going to be, numb-tongued after his name, but no, there's a lot going on in that.
That's one of the reasons why I think these Commander, even just 1v1 single, because these are single matches, by the way, not 2 out of 3s. Where the Commander 1v1s are going to stay single matches because they can take a long time.
He pays me by the hour, so.
Just to read the cards, they take a long time to play these games. I'm playing the Dragon deck, as I mentioned before, and the Commander for this deck is the Dragon, which costs a whopping 4 and the full rainbow of colors, white, blue, black, and green, and it gets me a 10/10 legendary dragon avatar creature. It has Eminence, which has quickly become one of my favorite mechanics that they've added to these Commander decks. As long as the Dragon is in the command zone or on the battlefield, other dragon spells you cast cost 1 of anything, or 1 colorless, sorry, not colorless, but 1 less to cast. It's got flying, which is great, and when 1 or more dragons you control attacks, draw that many cards. You may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battle. You may then put a permanent card from your hand to the battlefield. It takes a bit of doing to get this on the battlefield.
Yes.
But I don't think, when we've played multiplayer Commander and I've been using the Dragon deck, I don't think there's been one game where this has actually hit the battlefield and I haven't just basically started taking over.
Oh, instantly. It becomes a huge threat.
There are plenty of games, though, keep in mind, where this has never seen the battlefield, even if it's been a really, really long game. So it's one of those things where if you can get it out, it's a huge game changer. But if not, then it's just a solid deck with a bunch of stompy stuff. So
yes. And a bit of ramp built in there too, which is
So
most of that goblin, that 1/3 goblin that you always seem to pull. If he pulls it, I'm not going to the table, but
there are two goblins. Yeah, no, one of them's a goblin, one of them's shaman. Was a shaman class.
Yeah.
But they both of them will give a discount to casting dragon spells. So while the Dragon gives the discount to other dragons, those cards give a discount to the Dragon. So
and other dragons.
Yeah, and other dragons as well. Yeah, so those are great if you can get them out. There's a few things like that in a lot of Commander's deck where it's like it's super useful if you can get it out early, less useful if you run into it in late game. But now we sort of talked a bit before off camera about this. I'm obviously not gonna. I'm gonna try my best. I'm also not gonna get as salty as I got in the last one. But I'm already predicting the cat deck has probably the edge in this, simply because the cat deck is able to perform early a bit better.
Especially with that Eminence. If you can get a good attacker early, he gets +3/+3 just on the Eminence alone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll give you that. There is the potential for a quicker start with this one, and that, especially in 1v1,
Yeah.
that might make the difference.
But if I can get the mana base going on this, I should be able... There's a good chance I can equalize. I may not win, but it should be a respectable game. And we've already determined our opening hands.
I have had to mulligan, but I will show you now my hand. You can do that.
Yeah, we'll show it. I'll grab mine. I get to keep my original 7. And you'll see in a second after Travis shows his. Let me just make sure I'm grabbing the right number of cards here. That it may not be the quickest start, but there's definitely some promise with it. So I'm going to let you show your hand first.
I'm not set them up properly, but you can see it was a tough call, but I think with these cards here, I think it's hopefully going to work out. Hopefully. I have confidence, putting my cards down, closing my eyes / putting my hands in front of my eyes. It's like a double protection from seeing these cards.
Okay, so this is... There we go. This is my opening hand. And yeah, as you can see, like it's with a 5-color deck, your opening hand isn't gonna have everything you need. But I think this is a good start to getting to where I have everything I need. So, okay, so there we go.
We're good.
We have not determined who plays first, though.
I can open my eyes though.
Yes, you can.
I'm not fighting a cold, but it's winter here in Winnipeg, so forced air heat makes my throat sound rumbly sometimes.
And I've even turned off the heater so that the furnace doesn't kick in and mess up with the microphone. But yeah, it's weird where we live because you go from outside to inside, outside, inside, and it's just hell.
Then you're in a car for like 40 minutes with the heat blasting. Ooh, 10. I'm
Need a
doing
10.
Green and white. Nice, huh? And I only got a 4.
Yeah,
but
so
still, it was nice.
But you lost the roll in the last one if you won a Commander game, and then you ended up destroying. So I think you're okay. Alrighty, so here we go. We're going to start now.
Clock it in.
And I'm going to play a Crumbling Necropolis. It enters the battlefield tapped, and I can tap it for either blue, black, or red. Travis, your turn.
I'm going to quickly scry.
That's right. That's right. And I'm going to be alternating between an energy drink and beer, which is probably not the best combination, but I need both of them right now.
Oh, I can't put you on the bottom.
Ooh. Ooh.
That right there may be the turning point. I put it back on top.
You do get to draw it right away, though.
I do. And that may help. Okay, so I'm going to draw that card. I'm going to play a Blossoming Sands. It also enters tapped, and I gain 1 life. So, ba-bam.
Yes. Boom, winning already.
Yeah, and I passed to you because Blossoming
Nothing else to do, right?
Terrible card.
Okie dokie, folks.
Is that a good for me, okie dokie?
I'm going to play... I can do this now. I have 2 choices. I can do this now because I know some of the cards in this deck and I want to be able to do this. I'm going to play one of the cards that I added to the deck, Flooded Strand. It's one of the fetch lands. So you can tap it, pay 1 life, sacrifice. I can sacrifice Flooded Strand and search your library for a plains or island card, put it into the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Pass the turn to you, sir.
Okay. Untapping, drawing my first mystery card. Cool, it's cool, we're good. Plane of Plains, tapping for green on the blossom and plane for the plains. To cast the Quasali Pride Mage. He's a 2/2 with Exalted, so whenever he or another creature I control attacks alone, that creature gets +1/+1 to that turn. I can also tap a colorless, or spend a colorless, and sacrifice him to destroy target artifact or enchantment.
Okay.
So 2/2 on the board, round 2. There's turn 2,
Okay, at the end, at your end step, I'm going to tap Flooded Strand. I'm going to pay 1 life, putting me down to 29.
I'm way ahead.
And I'm going to search my library for either a plains or island card. Now, this is going to show off some of the other cards that I added. And I have chosen, after what you guys will never see, it took an incredibly long amount of time, Prairie Stream, because this actually counts as either a plains or an island, so I can use the Flooded Strand to grab it. However, it enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. I do not, so it's going to enter tap, but it is your end step. I have shuffled my library already, so I'm just going to get you to cut.
I'm doing deep cut.
Deep cut. There we go.
Yeah, you got it.
So yeah, I think this is going to really help with adding the fetch lands along with these dual lands that count as both plains and or like not basic lands, but to have the actual land type on them.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be one of the big things that's going to help this deck hopefully perform a little bit better, or a little bit quicker, I should say. So, okay, so now I'm going to play a Savage Lands. It enters the battlefield tapped. I can tap it for either black, red, or green. So I do now have access to all the different colors. I can't tap them all at once because I've only got 3 lands up. So, but still, I'm feeling a little bit better. Sadly, I don't think I'll be able to get a blocker out, but I can tap for 2 and cast Armillary Sphere. Excuse me.
That's a tough one to pronounce. Armillary
Sphere, especially when you're burping halfway through it. You pay 2, tap it, and sacrifice the sphere to search your library for up to 2 basic lands. Reveal them, put them into your hand, and then shuffle your library. So I'm all tapped out. I do have the sphere out. This is going to go a little bit further to help me with fixing my mana. I'm going to pass the turn to you.
It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah. This is stuff like this as well too is also why I didn't completely take out all basic lands, because there are several spells which only will target basic lands.
All right, I'm going to move to combat.
Sure.
So at the beginning of combat, my turn, target cat gets +3/+3.
Okay.
So I'm going to attack. So he's going to be attacking as a 5/5 because he's exalted. He's +1 from that, and pardon me, it's 6/6 because he becomes 3/3 and then 3/3 because of that.
Yeah. So 6. I'm taking 6. This is what I was worried about as well too, because it's like 1 creature and we're already talking about 6 damage. So I'm going to go down to 23.
Okay. I'm going to tap 2 for an artifact called the Sword of Animist. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. Whenever equipped creature attacks, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Equipped cost is 2. And then I'm going to pass turn to you.
Okay. Now I'm really hoping to get a blocker up, even though it's going to be tough to find something that's going to be able to block a 6/6 that's going to be swinging each turn. Okay, let's see how we do. Well, I'm going to pay 2 and tap and sacrifice the sphere and search my library for 2 basic land cards, reveal them, put them in my hand, and then shuffle my library. So I'm going to go through my library once again, and we'll be right back after this edit. Alrighty, so the cards, the basic land cards I'm revealing is a forest and a mountain. I'm going to put these into my hand. I'm then going to play... I'm actually going to play a non-basic land. I'm going to play a Vivid Marsh. Vivid Memo. Memo?
Memo?
Close. Vivid Meadow. Enters the battlefield tapped with 2 charge counters on it. I can tap it for either white, or I can remove a charge counter from Vivid Meadow and add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So
it sounds like a folk song somewhere about office life.
I'm going to pass the turn to you now, Travis.
All right.
This is exactly what I was talking about, how this deck needs some time to get going, and it's just, I don't know if I'm going to have that time. I don't know if I'm going to have the time.
Okay. I am going to... So, whenever a equipped creature attacks, I may search my land for a land card, put it on the battlefield. Does that count as my land for that turn?
No.
No. Okay.
No, what? Can I just quickly look at that? Whenever you may search a library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. No, it does not. It does not. So you could play a land now, and then you'll have another land if you equip that and then attack with it. So you'll be able to put another one on there. So it's ramp. It's ramp in the deck that doesn't necessarily need it. Oh,
it needs it bad.
Oh, it's an Evolving Wilds. Oh, okay.
Playing an Evolving Wilds. So I'll tap 2 to equip the sword to the Pride Mage.
Okay.
So it does get +1/+1, so it's a 3/3. At the beginning of combat, I'm going to combat.
Okay.
So I'm going to give it +3/+3, so it's now a 6/6, and then when it attacks alone, it becomes a 7.
Doesn't it give it
+1?
+1. So it's a 7/7, right?
When it attacks.
Oh,
slow down.
Okay, sorry.
It's all like a 3-second difference.
I jumped the gun here.
Yeah, so it will be attacking as a 7/7.
Okay.
So
trigger
the attacks. I'm going to search. Sure, we'll go with a plains on the battlefield tapped.
Now, do you want to crack your Evolving Wilds now so that you only have to shuffle
we'll
once,
just make
or?
this one simple
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
If you don't, it's kind of like in the middle of combat. It's tricky. So tap, sack, I will search for a forest, which will also go on tapped. I'm happy that Ed has his dice in his hand because like if he was reaching to tap that mana for like a spell to like to kill my dude, I'm like,
or stifle or something where it's like it cancels.
or just
stifle that cancel. I think stifle is the spell that cancels abilities or triggered abilities and stuff like that. So.
But there are some white. You can tap for white. No, okay.
No, not this one. I can't even do a stifle because this can't tap for blue. So that was a bad bluff on my part. I should have tapped to chill up this one up.
You can't bluff against guys going in all anyway. It's like playing poke with my wife. She's tired. She's going to do any play she wants because she wants to go to bed. And she wins. Money. This is a sloppy...
While you're shuffling, I'm going to be taking 7 damage.
7 damage.
So I'm down to 16 on turn 3. So not the greatest. Luckily, these life totals are 30. Start at 30 and not 20.
Yes.
There you go, sir.
Very lucky. So I pass the turn to you.
Okay. So now I may actually get to cast something. Now, whether or not you have removal to deal with it instantly, I don't know. But we're going to find out. Okay. So I'm going to play a mountain. And then I'm going to tap 1 red. And then 1, 2, 3, and 4. I get the discount from Dragon's Eminence, so I can cast dragon spells for 1 less. And I'm going to cast Ryusi the Falling Star. It is a 5/5 dragon spirit. It's got flying, and when it dies, it deals 5 damage to each creature without flying.
Whew.
So as far as blockers go, because I'm not going to have something that's going to be able to like straight up trade with it, this is pretty much one of the best options I had. So I'm going to now pass the turn to you. The other good thing as well, too, is that if it ends up being sort of a removal type thing,
it still dies.
You have a very small window in which you can cast your removal.
Unless there's exile.
Unless it's exile, and that'll just ruin all my plans. But I won't get salty. So I'll probably get salty.
It's a good chance on the salty. Okay, I'm going to play a land called Stirring Wildwood. It enters tapped. I can tap for green or white, and I can pay 1 of anything green or white. Until the end of the turn, Stirring Wildwood becomes a 3/4 green, white elemental creature with reach. It's still a land. So as a chump blocker late game, that reach might actually come in handy.
Is that one of the ones that was added to it? Or is that the ones that
that
came with it?
This came with it, yeah. That came with it. And then going to go to combat.
Yes, sir.
So begin combat. We'll give it +3/+3.
Okay.
And then, attack. So I'm going to search for a land card.
Yeah. Basic land, right?
Basic land.
Okay. Be super powerful if it was just any land.
Just because.
It must be nice not to have to make a real big decision as to what. It's either going to be green or white. Right?
Yeah.
So it's not like you have to choose between all 5 colors.
Look at me. I got shoes. Go ahead. It's a 7/7.
Okay.
No trample.
So I will be blocking it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go to damage.
We're going to go to damage.
Is it okay if I go to damage while you're
Yeah.
still shuffling? Okay. So we go to damage. I don't take any damage.
No trample.
No trample, thankfully. That's gonna take 5. This is gonna take 7. This is gonna die, but when it dies, it deals 5 damage to each creature without flying. So now they're both gonna die, unless you have something that can prevent that.
Let me triple check. No, I do not.
Okay. So both of the creatures are going to go to the graveyard, though not the equipment, obviously. There you go, sir.
Okay, so second main phase, I am going to tap 2 for a Leonin Shikari. I may activate equipped abilities anytime I can cast an instant.
Oh, that sucks so bad. Not obviously that card doesn't suck. That sucks so bad for me because now it's like equipment can be moving all over the place.
Yes. Yes.
Now you still have to pay their costs, right? But it's just a matter of now it can be done instant speed instead of during.
And I'm just gonna pass to you.
Okay. Now I am happy with how the mana base is turning out so far for me, so I can't complain about that. I'm gonna play Arcane Sanctum. Enters the battlefield tapped, and I can tap it for either white, blue, or black. I'm then going to pay 2 black, and make sure I don't mess this up. 1 red, not that it matters. And with the discount, I'm going to play Boneyard Scourge. It is for For 2 and 2 black, I get a 4/3 zombie dragon. It's got flying. Whenever a dragon you control dies while Boneyard Scourge is in your graveyard, pay 1 black. If you do, return Boneyard Scourge from your graveyard to the battlefield.
To the battlefield.
The battlefield.
Which is broken.
So,
Broken.
I'm now going to pass the turn to you, sir.
Okay. Oh, sorry. On your end step, I will tap 2. Because I can do it. I'm going to abuse... I could have done it on my turn, but I really want to abuse this before he gets killed.
And as well, too, it's a good thing to do on the end step because it holds up your mana, and I don't know what you're going to do. Like, you don't necessarily have to do that, right?
Yeah,
so you could be...
I prefer to say I just wanted to abuse him before he dies. So then, end step, untap, draw. What did I draw now? I got so excited to use that and I almost forgot. Okay, so I'm going to straight up play Plains. Straight up.
Straight up.
What can I do now?
Now, at the beginning of the game, we were talking before, and one of the things I think you were worried about was not getting enough mana. So you've definitely equalized when it comes to the amount of mana you have, so...
Yes, that I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can bring up my commander, but I don't have enough to do that end. Activate his ability. Sure, I'll tap 3.
Okay.
To cast the Quintus Spike. Its Crypt Creature has Death Touch. Whenever Crypt Creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses half his or her life, rounded down.
Oh my god.
So...
This is so bad.
I am just going to attack. I have no intent of whether I'm going to equip this thing or not at instant speed.
Okay.
So it's a 7/7, no trample, no Death Touch. Because I use his and... Oh no, he's only a 6/6.
Oh, that's right, because he's 5/5 with... Yeah, not that it matters, because this is still not going to have the cojones to be able to trade with it. I'm going to block because I really don't have any other choice.
Okay.
Okay, so damage. Boneyard Scourge is going to go...
Sorry, attack.
Yes, you do, yeah. So Boneyard Scourge is going to go to the graveyard, and Travis is going to get to search for another basic land.
Drop a quick forest, comes in tapped.
So at this point,
shuffle.
There's going to be very little that Travis could get in his hand that he's not going to be able to cast, I'm assuming. Yes. So I'm scared. I'm very, very scared at this point.
Okay, go back to. I'm going to put that there for no reason, and then I'm simply going to pass the turn to you.
Okay, well,
until I get trampled, you're doing fine.
Righty.
It's that kind of cocky confidence makes you look like an idiot when something hits the board and like, but.
Ah, wowzers. Okay, I'm going to play a forest. I'm going to tap a red and a blue. And I'm going to tap 2 more mana to cast the Spellbound Dragon because of the discount from Dragon. It is a 3/5 flyer, and when it attacks, draw a card, then discard a card. Spellbound Dragon gets +X +0 until the end of turn, where X is the discarded card's converted mana cost. So now I have a choice. I'm going to pass the turn to you now.
Okay.
I pass the turn to you.
On your end step,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tap 1 white and 3 of anything to cast the Alms Collector. He's a 3/4 cat cleric with flash. If an opponent would draw 2 or more cards, instead, you and that opponent each draw a card. So I was hoping you were going to draw a card, and I'd be like, ha! But then I realized that's a permanent ability. It's not like it's enter the battlefield or a thing. That's there now.
But now you've got
2 cats.
2, and one with... Oh, I thought it was Flying Splash. Okay, so, but you got two creatures now that I have to deal with.
Okay. Untap, upkeep.
Yikes.
Draw. I am going to tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to cast my commander. Once again, Eminence still will be in effect.
Yeah.
But when another cat I control attacks, I may pay 1, 2, 3, 1 in a green and white. If I do, target creature gains +S +X, where X is its power. So.
And trample, right?
And trample, yes.
And trample.
So, I could 6/6 attack, make him the trampler. But I think what makes the most sense, that wouldn't happen, because I need trample. So, what I'm going to do, I have a plan.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to give Leonin Leonin the cat soldier, +X, +X. So he goes from a 3/3 to a 6/6 at beginning combat.
Okay.
So I'm going to go to attacks, and then I have to do his at that point.
Okay.
Which I'm going to do. So I'm going to attack. That doesn't tap. So let's do that first. I'll get my trigger off that and my trigger off that. So I am going to spend the mana, but I'll do this first. Well, I'm trying to think of what's. I'm giving you time to think while I shuffle.
No, it's fine. I've got limited options, right?
I know.
So,
he's a 3/3. He's a 6/6. So he's become a 12/12 with trample.
okay, so he's the one you're going to target with that ability.
With everything. So he's just a 3/4. He's a 12/12 trample, and I'm going to search for that.
Okay. Now you have to pay for that ability, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm tapping out. I put a forest. I'm shuffling while you think of your blocks and everything.
I already determined what the blocks are going to be a while ago.
I want to give you time.
No, that makes sense. Okay, so I do know what I'm going to be doing. Okay, so this is still just a 3/4.
Just a 3/4.
This is a 12/12 with trample.
With trample.
So now I'm doing this as a hypothetical, though it's probably how it's going to work out. I'm just talking you guys through it while Travis is shuffling. I will just cut. And then there you go. I block this, and because this has got a 5 toughness, and this is a 12/12 with trample, I'm taking 7 damage regardless. And then there's going to be an additional 3, so I'll be taking 10 at the end of this. That is how I'm going to do it. So, yeah, so I'm going to take 10. Spellbound Dragon is going to die. Now, when this happens, I'm going to pay 2, including 1 black, to activate the Boneyard Scourge ability. And when a dragon you control dies while Boneyard Scourge is in your graveyard, which it was, you may pay 1 and a black. If you do, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. So, and now I take my 10 damage, which puts me down to 6. Whew. This is awful. Yeah, I guess that's that.
Giddy up.
Giddy up, okay.
That was a Steveism.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Steve, who I'm really hoping to get back in the Mana Cave sometime soon.
Where you at, bro?
Yeah. Steve, we miss you, man. Draw. Okay. So I'm going to play a Smoldering Marsh, and it enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands, which luckily I do.
Exactly 2, because
yes.
those are non-basics.
Yeah, because a lot of non-basics in here. So,
mana count is 8. That's,
it's not small.
That's Dragon level.
It's not small. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no, it's not. Dragon's 9, 4, and 5.
Oh, right. His eminence. Yeah. Doesn't affect himself.
Okay, so let's try this. I really don't want to screw up my mana here. So, white. What am I missing? Blue, green, red, black, and white. Okay. Now, it's going to seem weird that I set those 5 aside and then doing this. I'm tapping 3, and I'm going to play Fist of the Suns. You may pay white, blue, black, red, and green rather than pay the mana cost for spells you cast. I'm then going to pay white, blue, green, red, and black to cast the Dragon. I'm now going to do something that I may regret, but I think I have to do it anyways. I'm going to move to attacks.
Okay.
And I'm going to swing in with the Boneyard Scourge. It's going to trigger when 1 or more dragons you control attacks, draw that many cards. So I'm going to be drawing 1. You may then put a permanent card from your hand into the battlefield. So I'm going to draw 1 card. And I'm going to put the Hellkite Charger onto the battlefield. It's got flying haste. It's a 5/5. Whenever Hellkite Charger attacks, you may pay 5 and 2 red. If you do untap all attacking creatures after this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Now, it doesn't matter because this is coming into the play post attack, so the haste ability isn't going to allow it to now attack. That was more just to get a permanent from my hand into the battlefield, and at least hit him once in this game.
Oh, pardon me.
So you'll be taking 4 as long as
27.
That all works out. And
27.
And Travis?
Yes.
Pass the turn to you.
All right. So this is cocky, confident Travis here, who thinks he's got this in the bag. I mean, this stuff in the bag. I'm still going to draw a card, though. I'm not quite that confident. Not that confident. What did I draw? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to combat.
Okay.
So I'm going to, at the beginning of combat, I'm going to give Leonin +3/+3.
Okay.
I'm going to spend 3 to give him the ability, and I'm going to spend 3 to give him the ability. Am I doing this right? So they're all going to attack. All creatures are attacking.
Okay.
Pardon me.
So whenever, so let me just double check just to make sure.
Okay.
Whenever another cat you control attacks, you may pay 1 green and a white. If you do, it gains trample and gets X +X in the other turn. Yeah. So you can do it multiple times. As long as it's just you can't do it on
him. Yeah. So 1 on him.
Yeah, another. So you can't do it on him, but you can do it on both of those guys.
On him. On him.
Okay.
So he is a 6. Sorry.
I'm in so much trouble.
6'10", 6'8".
Okay.
6'8" with trample. So he was a 3/3, became a 6/6. Yes. And then became a 12/12, became a 24/24 with trample. He's a 5/5 with nothing.
This is sadly almost exactly how I expected this to sort of play out, where it's just it's in a regular Commander game, like multiplayer, like with more opponents and stuff. This would have been a great start for the Dragon deck. 1v1, which is not really what this deck is about. It's so difficult to deal with. Even something that has like mid-range creatures, it's very difficult to deal with. So this is lethal. Pretty much no matter any way I cut it. It's lethal.
With a 24/24 trample?
And 15 potential blocking. 15 potential blocking, and it's still lethal because I'm down to 6. So
24/29.
And you didn't even have to bring that into effect.
So I'm pretty sure that would have hurt me at some point because player loses his life total round up. So no matter what damage I did to you, if it was 0, wouldn't it just round up to? No, I guess if it was absolutely 0, it wouldn't round up.
No, if it was absolutely 0, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, wait a minute. I was thinking about that too. I'm like,
but normally this would be a game changing card. But you didn't even need it. So okay. So 24/24.
5/5.
5/5.
6/6.
6/6. So just to
make it legit, in case you have a sacrifice all lands, deal 3 damage. No.
I had one hope, and it was to draw Swords to Plowshares, which is one of the cards I added to this deck.
24 life.
Yeah, you would. That would have been fine. I would have much rather you had 24 life than swinging for 24/24 on me.
Yeah.
But it would have been such a temporary measure. But yeah, that was, and this is, like I said, this is pretty much how I expected to sort of play out. So yeah, sadly well, sadly not for you, obviously it's not sadly.
So when you go back to the beginning, you'll see that my opening lands were, I think that, but I had, and you've played this card against me in the past, and I've seen just how amazing it can be.
Yeah.
So I'm like
early, especially, and then
I knew I could attack early because I had the Pride Mage. So I'm like, I can attack early. If he destroys an artifact early, I'm screwed.
Because you were hurting for land right at the beginning,
I did not get my 3rd land drop. Because even then, I cast that on turn 3, but I couldn't even equip it on turn 3 because it's 2 to equip, 2 to attack, or 2 to cast, 2 to equip. So I had to have the creature attack, and I had to have that artifact at least get that land to at least give me 1 land. But in the end, I think I got like 4 or 5 off that.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the thing. Like after a while, it didn't even become necessary for you to keep it in, because I said at one point that you pretty much have all the land you need to cast anything in your hand.
Yeah.
So, and you know,
still true.
If there was a way for me to have put a 3rd blocker up without one of them being tapped, I might have did it, but this was the only thing I could think of to try to get 2 blockers out. And as well, too, like I said, normally having 15 potential blocking toughness on the board.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, but once that cat comes online.
Normally resolving your commander on your deck is pretty good. But once
and I mean,
enough mana to stack that trample.
Yeah.
And that's it, like +3/+3 or +X/+X when you have a 3 is not huge. But when you get his Eminence and then you do that and then you do it again, it's like it's a gong show.
Oh yeah, it's so ridiculous. And it would be made so much worse of an ability if trample wasn't included. If trample wasn't included, chump block for days, right?
Exactly.
But with trample, that's the end of the game there. So and like exactly you saw it. Now the one good thing about losing this one, despite the fact that I really like my dragon deck, but I like it in multiplayer,
I want to ask a question about that after finisher.
After this, not right after this, but the next 1v1 commander we're going to do the vampire deck, which won the first 1v1 commander, now versus the cat deck. And I knew if somehow the dragon deck ended up winning, that the cat deck would probably, in 1v1, would probably be the only real competitor for that vampire deck, because the vampire deck can get the creatures out. Yeah. So I am kind of happy that that's going to be the final matchup, because I think the cats have the best chance of taking on the vampires. Though I've been informed recently that in 1v1 commander, not that we follow those rules, Edgar is now banned.
Out of there.
He's considered too strong. So, and that was quick. Like, I mean, these weren't out for that long. I mean, they're meant for multiplayer, right? So sometimes you have to make certain adjustments when it comes to 1v1. But
so I want to ask you though. I've been meaning to ask this for a while. You are normally very control, very blue. You know, a little blue-black every now and then. And not necessarily even all that strong creature based. How do you actually like your? Because you've played it a few times against me. You seem to really like it, but it's not what I would call your comfort zone. Kind of.
One of the things I like about Commander, it's because it allows me to sort of get outside my comfort zone. Like I don't like. You're all right. When I play standard 60 card decks, I fall into control. It's usually there's blue. There's almost always blue. And even in a deck like this, it does have blue. To make myself feel a little bit better, I actually added control magic to it, which is the 2 blue and 2 for enchantment, which can take control of another permanent. And this card actually in here. Mind Swipe.
Yes.
Which is 1 blue, 1 red, and X. Counter target spell unless its controller pays X. Mind Swipe deals X damage to that spell's controller. Now this
we played that against each other in the past.
Yeah, and like in 60 card decks. In this deck, I thought it would be good as a possible finisher out of nowhere for specifically for 1v1.
Well, not even 1v1.
Multiplayer might be useful, but I specifically for 1v1. This is one of the ones that I sort of added in with that in mind. Now, getting back to your original question, I like Commander because I've found that adding a lot of counter spells to a deck doesn't necessarily help in Commander because
you get 2 other opponents.
Yeah,
you counter one.
You need some sort of aggression or some way to protect yourself. One of the two. And I find that enchantments like Rhystic Studies or Ghost Prison, things that will prevent people from attacking you without having to pay extra for it, are more useful in a deck than a whole bunch of counter spells. Now, that doesn't mean I don't want to run counter spells in some of my Commander decks, but for the most part, yeah, it's nice because Commander has really sort of pushed me towards playing a deck that has like nothing but large, crazy dragons, which I would never play in a regular, I shouldn't say regular, but in a 60 card format.
We call you guys normies.
So yeah, so that's I mean, and I know you appreciate it because you don't have to worry about getting every second spell countered when you're playing me now. So
I only have to worry about all my creatures dying through massive board wipes.
Yeah,
all the time. But like any other good game, that comes your thought process. You're less salty about it. I'm still salty, and you can tweak your deck a bit to be prepared for that and have benefits with that.
Yeah.
You should see my goblin deck. I got some stuff in there for that.
Yeah. Well, I definitely want to try this goblin deck that you've been building. But in the meantime, once again, the next 1v1 commander we're going to play is going to be the cats versus the vampires. Now, we've mentioned this, that the Planeswalker decks and the other pre-constructed 60-card decks, they're always going to be best 2 out of 3 matchups now. The Commander 1v1s, maybe one day, somewhere in the future, they may be best 2 out of 3. Like this one would have been...
That'll be a Twitch thing, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if we shoot it live, editing it would be a horror show. But it's interesting because a game like this, which I'm not sure exactly, but it felt like it went fairly quickly, would have been like, why don't we do a best 2 out of 3? And then the next 2 games could have taken forever. And that's the only reason why we're not doing 2 out of 3s for Commander. I'd love to do it, maybe in the future, when we have an editor just specifically.
Hey, yo, bitch.
But for now, yeah, these ones sadly will just be single matchups. But I still think it was a decent game. So
Yeah.
Oh, almost forgot. We're currently having a giveaway on the channel. We don't do many of these. This was actually a long time coming because it was meant to thank you guys for getting us to 1,000 subscribers. We've since surpassed that by a fair amount now, and that's all because of you guys. So this giveaway is to thank you guys for all the support, not even just subscribing, for leaving comments, retweeting, generally just telling people about the channel and the support that you guys have shown to make this feel like, I've said this before, the amount of, whenever someone like comments on one of the games, especially with the Mana Cave, which is our favorite game, which is where we're going to go with the channel more in the future towards like gameplay stuff, it makes me feel like the channel is 10 times bigger when people communicate, when there's actually, you get that interaction with people who are watching. So that there will be a link appearing somewhere above my head or Travis's head.
It comes from left, right.
Yeah,
to
so
left.
it's going to be above your head. So and that will take you.
Eat it out. It doesn't go that slow. You can't control the space.
That will take you to the giveaway video. It's super easy to enter. All you need to do is leave a comment on that video,
and you get options on it.
Yes, yeah, there will be options as to what you can win. One of the options is going to be a Battle for Zendikar Fat Pack, which you can see here. I bought this right when we started the channel to give away when we hit 1,000, not knowing how long it would take. And the other options are going to be an Ixalan bundle pack or 30 event tickets for Magic Online.
But I don't think even in your awesome video there that you actually explained why this is just so awesome. It's got a full brick, 40 full art lands, which to any kind of collector or any flashy player is huge. And there's also the potential for, what do they call them?
Expeditions. The original, pretty much the original chase cards that they started adding in before they went a little bit overboard with them. But yeah, the expeditions are also a really, really great addition to this. I didn't mention that, you're right.
I didn't recall it anyway. I don't think you did.
No, I didn't. I got so caught up in just trying to explain to people why I'm offering a
fat pack from like 2 years ago.
Once again, if you are into the newer sets, or if you prefer standard cards and stuff like that, there is going to be the Ixalan bundle, which you can choose. But if you want something that's a little, not super old, but a little bit older, there's this as well too. Or if you're specifically for a Magic Online player, then the event tickets are going to be available as well too. Yeah. And all you have to do to enter, it's all explained in the video.
Yeah.
But just go to the video, and I'm just asking for you guys to tell me what games or content other than Magic the Gathering you would like to see in the channel, because we are going to be doing other tabletop gaming. In fact, after this, we're going to be shooting Arkham Horror, the card game. So we're going to see how that goes, because that's going to be the first foray into us actually doing live tabletop gameplay of a game that's not Magic.
I was surprised. I don't mean to make this any longer than it has to be. There were a lot of comments saying D&D, straight up D&D.
I was so excited by that, because I've mentioned before that I want to try doing Dungeons & Dragons on the channel. So to see so many people wanting to see Dungeons & Dragons, because I don't know if you can see it behind me here, but I've got these are just some of the books as well too, but I do have all the books and everything I need for the newest edition of Dungeons & Dragons. I also have a couple of adventures set aside there, so that is something which is a very real possibility, providing we can get a group together who will be able to play, because it's not all going to be one video. It's probably going to be like an episodal series.
Episodic.
Yes, episodic series. There's other series as well too. I would kind of like to do like that as well too. I'm not going to say what they are yet, just in case we don't get around to doing them.
True.
But Dungeons & Dragons, because of what you guys have been saying in that video.
A lot of votes for that one.
Yeah, that's something which probably in 2018, hopefully early 2018, is going to be coming to the channel. So, and that's thanks to you guys for contributing, for commenting and letting us know what you'd like. We've made this ending very long, which we normally do.
Yeah.
But if you're a true fan, you're
still listening.
Yeah, you're still listening. And if you're not, then don't worry. Like, you wanted the gameplay. You
clicked off a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, thank you guys very much for watching, and we will see you in the next episode.
Yeah.